8 warships and a carrier strike group deploying right now. We'll talk about this here in a second. We're live in 3, 2. All right, what is going on, guys? It is Adam, aka Marf, and this is Marfoogle News. We're going to talk about one of the most important stories of today, which is that we have a carrier strike group adding to the 8 warships that are all supposedly tracking speedboats. Again, the I-7 or 6, 7, or 8 speedboats that have been hit really don't need 8 warships, full-on warships, don't need 10,000 troops, attack helicopters right in Trinidad and in other places all over the place in the Caribbean. And they most definitely don't need a carrier strike group down by Venezuela unless they're trying to do something. In fact, it looks like an imminent war, right? It's either a war or a surrender or something right in between. Now, they've already approved the use of CIA in Venezuela. So they've actually said that. They've been talking about a land attack on Venezuela. Remember, Venezuela, we don't have to get Congress to do this war because it is a narco terrorist war. Remember, they can do certain things now that Maduro is attached to the terrorists, which he may be and he may not be. We don't know. We don't know what intelligence is saying. I mean, it is a good way to get around the whole Congress loophole. Mind you, we've had stories like they just cut all of the reporters out of the Pentagon. In fact, all of the 3-letter agencies, FOX, CNN, BBC, all of them left the Pentagon because they basically made them sign a paper that said, hey, you're either going to agree to have permission, whatever you release, you do not have free reign of the Pentagon anymore. Look all of this stuff up. It's crazy. And again, they said you have to sign this by 4 o'clock. By 4 o'clock or by 3:30, everybody was gone. CNN, Fox, all of them, they all left, including some of the smaller ones. The only news station that stayed was ONN. Again, one station, one reporter stayed. So that said something. And then they just clamped down on Congress a couple days ago. And now we see a carrier strike group moving into place in Venezuela. Well, wouldn't you see this coming? Again, we've been calling this. Our whole community has been, shouting at the top of their lungs. Most of our friends and family think we're crazy. Well, I guess time will tell. Before we move on, I do want to remind you guys, make sure to go check out marfooglenews.com/EMP. This is a device that can not only protect you from EMPs, it can protect your cars, trucks, motorcycles, boats, generators, and your home, your Starlink system, your ham radio against CME, a Carrington level event from the sun. So it is actually a triple use. In the house version, you can actually protect yourself against lightning as well. This is not a surge protector you can get in the store. This is the same company and same technology used by DHS, Department of Homeland Security, Department of War, again, the FBI, the Air Force, and many others. So again, if you want the same protection on your vehicles, if you believe that the government's going to come in and save you, like they did in North Carolina, Hawaii, California, New Orleans, all of those are good examples of that. They're coming to get you first. Otherwise, the other people are going to be protecting themselves and, be pumping, make sure to prep up their vehicles and everything else. Go to marfooglenews.com/EMP and make sure to use the code MARF. Let's bring in my co-internet brother, Dex James. What is going on and how are you doing today?
Well, hello, Adam, and hello, Foogle fam. I am doing just fine.
So, U.S. is deploying the Ford Carrier Strike Group to combat, again, narco terror. Which has been about once a week. They take out a speedboat with a tomahawk or whatever they're using to knock these things out. They have 8 warships. The other 7 are just to back the other one up and give it like shoulder rubs, I guess. I don't know. What did you think when you saw this?
Yeah, I didn't think this had anything to do with narco terror. I think this has everything to do with the force that we're pushing towards on Maduro to potentially get him to either step down, which we've seen other parts of his government suggest there could be a future without Maduro, and get an overthrow there. But that, or we're going to go in, because you don't need this much firepower. You don't need a strike group and all these ships just to take on some drug boats. It seems a little overkill to me.
A little overkill is a understatement. Like, this is absolutely exactly what people think it is. This is about to be some sort of war. And the timing of this, we're going to talk about over on Marfoogle TV after these next couple stories about how they are essentially saying that we just committed an act of war against Russia. Very, very convenient timing, if you say the least, right? To say the least. And then, of course, we have Trump. Says that a private anonymous donor has just put up $130 million of their own money to pay the military during the shutdown. Again, there were a ton of military members that were working throughout the government shutdown that were not getting paid. And somebody just coughed up $130 million. Dex and I were talking before the show, was this actually him out of his own pocket? A lot of people are suggesting Elon and others, but if this was President Trump paying out of his own pocket and he's being, humble and not telling anybody now, is this a card he could play later? If something really bad happens, then it could leak out that, of course, he actually paid out of his own pocket to keep the military going for good PR or good optics. Or what if we find out he actually just really wanted to help and didn't want the military, down and out? First of all, the fact that they are putting this kind of priority, the fact that $130 million popped out of nowhere to pay these military folks tells you that the military is extremely important right now. Whoever did cough this up, if it isn't Trump or Elon or somebody else that's super connected, you wonder why, right? Why did they all of a sudden cough it up? Did they hear a story on the news saying that a lot of people were out for the last couple weeks and they just really had a big heart and they were like, 130 million is chump change to me, so I'm going to go, donate this, but I want to be anonymous. What is this? Is this a PR optics thing that's going to be brought out later? Again, that's a slight prediction there. Or is this something else? Is this straight up, there are people that want this war coming that are like, hey, we cannot lose anybody and we're not going to stop the military industrial complex. And then here's the Canadian viral video that triggered the president into a full-blown meltdown. Dex, do you want to talk about that?
Yeah, so apparently there was a video that went out from Canada that they put out. They funded many millions of dollars to run these ads using Ronald Reagan in a speech and I guess clipping parts of the speech to make it sound like something that it totally wasn't. But it was basically Reagan saying how bad tariffs were for the country and that you shouldn't be using tariffs. So that enraged Trump, and as they say it, and he basically, here, I'll just read you what he wrote. He said, the Ronald Reagan Foundation has just announced that Canada has fraudulently used an advertisement, which is fake, featuring Ronald Reagan speaking negatively about tariffs. The ad was for $75 million. They only did this to interfere with the decision of the U.S. Supreme Court and other courts. Tariffs are very important to the national security and economy of the USA. Based on their egregious behavior, all trade negotiations with Canada are hereby terminated. Thank you for your attention to this matter, President DJP.
Now, he said that the video is fake, and this article is, of course, saying which it's not. But if you actually look at the original audio, the original video, and whatever, and the new one, they have basically cut and some say deceptively edited it. And we've not been a stranger to this. In fact, both sides do this. Both sides, especially during campaign trails, they deceptively edit the comments of the other. You see this all the time. Especially it was like an hour long or 45-minute Trump interview that ended up being like 15 minutes long, and they purposely cut. You could watch them side by side. The president ended up putting out his own version because his people did a cell phone version of it, and you look and see what they cut out, and it made it super obvious what they were cutting out. They would make it look like he was yelling. They cut things together to make it just look bad. And that's not journalism. That's just optics and manipulation. So again, whatever side you're on, that's up to you. But when people are lying to get to their goal, that's not anywhere close to the truth. All right, we're going to talk about the rest of the news and the full breakdown on the last 24 hours. You guys know our opinion. We believe that this is an imminent war that is coming. And people want to say, oh, you're all afraid. We're not afraid. We've been knowing about this for 10 years. And anybody that hasn't studied history, I was just brushing up again. I've talked about this many times. World War II, Japan, all of the embargoes. What was happening with America First Committee, not the one from today, the one from 1940. Everything that was being said, everything is repeating. History is repeating right now, and if you do not study the past, you are doomed to do the same mistakes again. We will talk to you in just a few minutes over on Marfoogle TV. If you're in the chat, you'll be ported over automatically. Just stay in the chat. If you are watching the replay, all you have to do is click here. We'll see you in just a minute. Be safe, be prepared, and Marf out.